You just let me know when you're counting yourself in.
I'm done now.
You're done?
Yes. We are here.
Okay.
We are here and we're not singing with you, but we are laughing at how much you're trying to boost each other's energy levels because it is Andre's very first thing in the morning and Joanne's very late thing at night. So we are watching both of you trying to keep it together and amuse each other with your singing and dancing and being goofballs. And we find this very funny. But this is just typical behavior in relationships that you have always wanted to be able to nurture in other lifetimes. And this is your fun one together where you can just be the singing, dancing goofballs with lots of laughs, lots of swears, and just lots of love for each other. So, this doesn't surprise us. This merely just makes us very happy that you have these connections together.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Can I just confirm our intention today with this channel was to call in every collective, benevolent collective that wants to talk to us today about our work going forward. Can I confirm that this is the case?
Yes, we understand that you we want to make a joke back to you and say, oh, you're very greedy, wanting all. But you can have as much endorsements as possible from different collectives, as you always do. Normally, you actually don't realize when you're doing these sessions and when you're connecting and channeling, how many groups are actually standing behind and supporting and endorsing the statements. So, while we don't label and name and drop names, shall we say, there's many. We are many. We are vast, and so there is a lot of us often here in the sidelines, waiting to give the best opportunity to, waiting to be able to provide with you the best appropriate answers. So we mingle with ourselves when you ask us a question, and within what seems to be almost an instant response, in our perspective, we juggle up what is the best and appropriate for you to hear at this time. So we are busy on the other side talking to you, even though it looks like we're seamless, because that's our advantage that we have over you.
Right, because we asked to connect to our higher selves, but really it's a bunch of beings jumping in and out and jumping in and out and conversing behind the scenes to give us the right answers, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, we thank you so much for being here, and thank you for always being there for us and helping us and guiding us. It's honestly making the journey so much easier to have you constantly there, and we really appreciate it because you're doing it for free. So thank you. So the
You'll be
reason,
helpful in your life review.
yeah, right, yeah, I'll give you my credit card details.
Well, the thing is that other lifetimes you have been our guides, you have been our highest, you have been our subconscious backups, you have been the support. This is not just a one-sided relationship. You have been there for us when we have wanted to experience physical experiences. So this isn't just you just taking like you naughty humans could be, so to speak. We've all been here together for each other for a long time and in many different capacities. So, we see you as close family, and we are just, we want to say with heavy hearts, even though we don't have the hearts, but we have heavy concern for you because we know how challenging time on planet Earth is right now. And so, while we love to see you bounce off each other with vibrations and humor and just lift each other's spirits, shall we say, we also understand that there are darker times and harder times and denser times for you both and for all. And so this is why it does give us joy when you can just goof around and just laugh. And laughter is just truly such the easiest way to your joy, for so many reasons. And sometimes it's very hard to find a reason to laugh. So we just wanted to share with you more insights to who we are, because we have been mislabeled so many times. So many people assume that the subconscious is merely just a separate part of the ego that is just within the body, within the human, and that is sweet and all. But we are really another dimensional being connecting with you, tapping in, and you're calling home for a care package of love and wisdom.
Right, yeah. And that actually brings me to a really good point actually that you made earlier, about the sort of, we were once your guides and now you're our guides, all that stuff. Because I have felt, especially in the beginning of my awakening, a little bit guilty about sort of always calling and asking for help, like felt like I was asking too much. And can we confirm that it's not like that for anybody who sort of is going through that similar problem with feeling guilty about asking for help from the other side?
Absolutely. We're always here for you. Time is different for us. So, we're not like, oh my gosh, what do they want this time? It's like, oh, good. How can we be of service? We are of service to you, just like you are trying to be of service to humanity. And so there is an equilibrium, circle of life kind of thing going on, experience, so to speak. So the connection, repetitiveness, and constant frequency is fantastic, and we like that. We do want to remind people who are just saying it without the follow-up and the intent. Joanne has an example of she swears often, as you have talked to her many times. Privately, Andre, she is a little trooper with that. But she often says, oh God, oh Jesus, and we understand that, while she's not really calling on God and she's not really calling on Jesus, she's just saying with words that are empty, that is not having any meaning. So if people are trying to say, come on, universe, help me out now, in a kind of a frustrated, impatient, why isn't things happening for me? We're not able to help you with that because you're not having the right integrity and the right intent. So you're blaming us for something that you're really supposed to be able to experience and process yourself. So your intention of calling us is very important as well. So if you are calling us but not believing in us, you're blocking yourself. Even while you want to connect with us, you kind of like, if you've got an old school telephone, you kind of like got the receiver that on your ear in your hand, but you've got your finger on the button and you're not letting the phone call open up and connect. So do you understand that reference? Are you old enough or young enough to understand the telephone systems that we were referring
to? Yeah, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. You sort of have to seek help with intent as opposed to just using it as a. Is that sort of what the Bible means? Like, don't use the Lord's name in vain? Is it sort of like you have to have intent to be able to call upon God or the spirit guides, etc.?
Yes. Well, ironically, as we're all aware, people who do preach the Bible often are the ones who use the Bible's integrity and intent in vain often. So they kind of, they're a little bit hypocritical. But yes, it is about intention. It's always been about intentions. And as manifestation is really good right now, you're really open and connected because of the vibrations of the planet. You are definitely able to connect with us more. You just have to trust. You have to, and like so many people, as we've explored before, when we've tapped into who's listening to these sessions right now, so many people are blocked because they don't feel like they're worthy of love and receiving the information. So many people are worried that if they do get the information, are they going to be in trouble with us for various reasons? So people are blocking us because they're afraid. They might get told off, they might get extra homework, they might be told that they're doing things wrong. So you can understand there is that reluctance. And we just want to keep saying to you, we love you guys. We want you to call us anytime and connect with us and trust yourself to know that you are loved enough to have a deeper connection to the divine, shall we say, because we are all here. We are not across the room. We're not sitting beside you. We're really within you. It's kind of, it is the reverse of holding a phone to your ear. For Joanne, she feels us on the inside of her, of the location of her head, above her ear, but within her head, which is strange because she was expecting to have something else when she was on her journey of what channeling would be like, and what these sessions that she does when she's the client, how that would feel. So it is, you know, you have to learn and experience these things and be open to them profoundly and just release all expectations.
That's such a good point because, you know, channeling seems to look different for every individual. You know, my channeling so far is totally different to Joanne's channeling, and Joanne's channeling is totally different from other channels that I've heard. It's like a really amazing personal experience, how they resonate with channeling and how it comes out in a person. So it's really interesting to hear those personalities coming through like that.
Yes, well, it's, you know, we wanted to say to you earlier, so thank you for reminding us that when we connect with you, we are accidentally with Joanne, this is what we're going to say for her. You know, we are wanting to make our messages so palatable and so simple for people to understand, that will really probably, you know, her vocabulary is not, you know, huge. It's very limited, but it's designed so that how she's expressing our information is palatable for all. And if we started, you know, using very complicated analogies that most people were not able to connect with, you know, like it would miss the mark. So we understand that we almost baby you with the conversations and the analogies and the information, because we don't want you to feel like it's too hard or it's too complicated. And we're not trying to also be condescending in any way. We want our messages to be reached to all. And so even if English is not your first language, we still want the intent and the information delivered. And so we also, because Joanne keeps wondering why they repeat themselves and they kind of, you know, go in circles. And this is what we're answering for her as well, is that, you know, it's not about her. It is about the audience and making sure we have full coverage of information. So we do know that, you know, she does say a lot, or she does naturally stutter a lot, she naturally swears a lot. And we want to say to you and confirm to her suspicions of when she's saying it's just because she's slowing down, taking a breath, because when she does channel, she doesn't hold back the information. So you notice it may be quite fast when she's in delivery of our messages. And then also she's taking kind of a mental breath to be able to hear and sense the next information that we're trying to give her. So it's her personality and her own delivery and her own language that we're relying on her to be able to deliver. So you know, you would never find a channeler, for example, who would suddenly speak a completely different language fluently while they're channeling. You know, like, I mean, there could be someone, so, you know, we're not going to like rule it out forever, but, you know, you are really yourself, an extension of yourself, who is connected to a higher realm of information that is supporting the questions and the information that you're seeking, based on the integrity of the vehicle and the person asking the question.
That's such a good point. So for anyone, you know, who's learning to channel and realizing that they have that ability, I mean, I suppose we all have that ability, but for people who are starting to harness it, having no expectations as to what channeling looks like is going to be really important for their development and growth.
Absolutely. We want to say that we are aware that some channelers need a little bit of theatric performance, some shaking, some hand gestures, some light language, or something, to be able to set themselves into a distinct state. You don't need to do that at all. that is not the official way to do channeling. You do not need to have a special diet. You do not need to do certain things, to be able to do this. You all have the capability of connecting in. And so, as you know, you've seen many channelers, and it looks different, it sounds different to them, and that's the way that they need to convince themselves and their audiences that they're authentic. And that works for them and those people needing to listen to those messages. Joanne doesn't do the theatrics because she doesn't want to be seen in these sessions, because she just has respect. First of all, she's respected what we have said to her many times, which is we just want our information undiluted. We don't want comments in the YouTube channel to distract people from the information. We want people to focus on this information. This information is extremely important to us for you to get, and your higher self is giving us this permission to be able to reach you. So it's kind of like a cool care package from home, so shall we say, and we don't want you to be distracted and just consume it without focusing on the information. And you know how many times you need to really listen to these sessions to be able to unpack all the layers. We can guarantee you now, if you go back to one of the oldest session videos, you will hear it again with completely new ears, because since that time, that small amount of time from the first time you've listened to it to now, you have grown. You all have grown so much in such a profoundly fast, expansive way. And so, we want you to go back. There is so much good information that we know is still being missed by people because they were reading and being distracted. And that is fine. We understand you're all busy and you're great multitaskers. But and we experienced, and we were very proud, we connected Joanne with a beautiful being. And she refers to these sessions and these videos as lessons. And that was really profound for Joanne, because it was actually an insight into what they truly are. This has nothing to do with Joanne. This is Joanne's body speaking, but this is not her personality as such. If you spoke to Joanne at a personal level, she is a ridiculously huge swearer. And she does not swear in these channelings because it's us talking to you, because we've got so much to say. She is not very articulate. If you had a conversation with her, she is, isn't the best on conversations, for many reasons. But this is quite different. And the people who know Joanne versus the people who listen just solely to her channeling, there is a distinct difference. And this is not a show for her. This is not her ego putting on a play. This is definitely us trying to reach out to you, to give you a lifeline, to be able to help you, because you are all meant to help humanity. You're all meant to do great things right now for each other, for yourselves, and for the future is very exciting. And we want you to be prepared, because when you are prepared, then you're helping others. And this is incredibly important.
Yeah, that's such a great point as well with the YouTube page. All the answers that people require in the comments are in the videos, right? All the information is there. You guys told me once that I was expecting too much, looking outwardly for confirmations and information, when really going within is what we're supposed to be doing. And I suppose the way I look at the YouTube page is there's some information. Now go do the work. So listen to the information, go do the work, take the lessons and apply it to your life. Is that right?
Absolutely. And we understand there's a lot of content for you to process. And we understand that one video could take multiple times for you to remember and recall and apply. And we were starting to get a little bit frustrated because the people who should have been applying this information and understanding this information were kind of just taking it as entertainment. And that is also fine. We can't push your free will, but we also know what your life purposes are. We also know what you want to do for your future. And so, we were sort of, trying the best we could. We kind of pushed you to find these videos. We kind of pushed you to find the time to listen to them. And, some people were not taking it as they needed to. And that is also fine. you know, that's a lesson for them. They had the opportunity to grow. It looked too hard, it looked too complicated for whatever reason they wanted to excuse themselves with. And so, you know, they've just, you know, they've justified that. And potentially it may not be their time, and that is absolutely fine for us as well. But, you know, we are trying to do the best we can to be able to help awaken you to the truths, the bigger truths, and to be able to upraise your vibration. There is so much healing in these sessions. Not just physical tools for your tool belt, but also actually energetic healing. And for those people that really take the time to not do anything else and really listen to the information, most will find that they go into a state of deep relaxation themselves, and that's when your subconsciouses will come in and give you the healing. If that client that you're listening to is getting certain healing, if you need that too, guess what? Chances are you're actually going to start getting the healing from that too. That is universal energy, universal healing. So, you know, these are profound. This is really exciting for us, because we haven't been able to share actually how profound these sessions are, just even being the listener. Because when you listen to it and understand and grow from it, it's not a coincidence that certain sessions really resonate with people at a profound level, where you're brought to tears yourself because you're experiencing the same thing, or even just understanding how much you've grown. These are profound. And, you know, we are not afraid to say that. Joanne, however, would be like, oh, they're really helpful. But she doesn't want to, you know, promote herself or boast herself or do anything that may look like ego. So she's just being of service to us. And every time we sort of nudge her to do a session for something, she does it diligently. And she doesn't ask very much of us, really. She still hasn't explored some of the things that she would like to personally explore, because she's so diligently trying to help other people with their sessions and their situations, and what general conversations and topics, things are going on right now with. So, you know, she's still putting some of her stuff to the back burner as well, and that is fine. That is her free will as well. So we're not judging, but we know that we want to help more, and we know that Joanne is open to help even further. And so this is why we have, with love, pushed her to the idea of doing the Zoom meeting support groups, because we understand that while people are at home listening to these sessions diligently and doing all the lessons and fully get it and thriving on this content and are acing this work, because there's so many that are acing this work, we want to be able to connect with you again deeper privately, and we want to be able to support you with workshop meetings on Zoom, and to be able to let you know and meet others who are like-minded. And we want you to be able to share with each other now. We want to be able to manage this so there is no, shall you say, trolls within the group. We are wanting, and we are going to be pushing the most appropriate people to be able to connect with each other at this time, because there is so much that needs to be shared, discussed at your 3D, we don't want to say 3D level, because that's your physical 3D level. We all know that you're very much more advanced beings than that, but we're wanting to offer you a connection to be able to connect with us at a more personal one-on-one, and also more a group-like setting, so you can support each other, because we are very concerned for some people who are alone, who do not feel like they have the support of this information. And so while they're wanting to share this with the world because it's given them so much joy and growth, they feel like potentially Joe and them are the only ones that can connect and understand this. So while the comments have been taken off for very purposeful reasons, we understand that this was also a way for people to connect with Joanne and say, I'm actually stuck with this, or help me with that. And so there was some sticking points potentially. So Joanne is very open to being able to help those people who generally want some support with this content, and if anything else that they're sort of going through at this time, because she doesn't want anyone to feel alone with this content, and with, the situation with humanity right now.
Yeah, because Joanne had been feeling this pull to start something like this, but she's been a bit unsure about what the best way to go about it is, and how it's sort of going to work. What advice do you have for Joanne, and the people who are listening to this, going forward with regards to these Zoom sessions?
So we recommend that she shares this video, this connection, and we will trust that the most appropriate people will connect with her, and she is so excited to meet everyone more personally, but she also knows that she really doesn't want mass group meetings, because she doesn't want anyone to kind of feel left out. And you all have certain times and different time zones and stuff. So Joanne is sort of feeling that it would be good to have some smaller intimate groups where people can share their information potentially at the same time zones or very similar, so it's not too challenging, and then kind of have support groups and connect profoundly. And she just wants to be able to share her time as much as she can without sort of missing people in bigger group sessions. So that's what she's really concerned about. She really wants to hear personally how everyone's doing. And she really wants to just make sure that everyone does feel like they've got a support group of some format, because she knows everyone who's listening, they have an amazing, incredible, great role forward. And she wants to encourage that, because she has experienced times in her life where she's felt very alone and isolated and unsupported. And so she is very compassionate, and she can feel when we are connecting with the whole group and we are doing group healings, and even when we often peek into who, and we get that sense of who is actually listening here, we do feel, and we do show Joanne the feeling of a few people that are listening who are feeling quite isolated. And this is on her mind, because she does want to reach out, but she also knows that Zoom meetings are really putting yourself out there. But she just wants to use her intuition to find the right groups to merge each other in, and maybe have a few just to see how that goes. So of course, with so many things happening for humanity right now, we can't even give her confirmation of exactly how things are going to pan out because of people's free will moving forward. But she does want to open this conversation and this thought piece with everyone listening, whether they would be interested in having a connection. And if they're not comfortable in a group setting, if they would be interested to have a conversation with Joanne, she can be channeling any personal information situations that the person really needs, but it's just about support. And if people are really struggling, she really wants to be there for everyone. So she's going to find the time and support everyone the best she can, because that's the kind of person she is. She really wants to be able to do that. But of course, she does have small children. So it's going to be, it is one of her life purposes, is to balance the family that she has agreed to have, which was a very interesting situation, because when she came to this planet, she had not had this. So she has changed her contract for certain purposes to have the children. So this is an extra bonus round for her to have children in this lifetime, because this was not the plan. So anyway, she just is not wanting to be a closed book for people. She's very human and real, and she has challenges too with the 3D situation with humanity, and she knows that everyone does at some extent. So she's wanting to extend out her love and her time to people who want that and need that.
Yeah, thank you so much. And Joanne sometimes can give too much of herself at times. And can we ask you guys that you help with the sort of flow of how it begins with the making sure the right people at the right time come, and that it can be started in a way that is manageable, so that Joanne can have a balance in her personal life as well as her spiritual life as she gives to other people. How can we do that? Is that possible?
Yes, it is possible. This is why we prefer the Zoom meetings than, say, the Facebook group or groups. So we want live connections and participation and sharing. Sharing is caring. And we believe that we're going to merge people together who are needing to hear each other's experiences and situations. And this is going to be, we want to say we really want to plan and create mini tripods. And so we are, there's time now that we want to be able to create some fantastic support groups that really lean on each other, because when you lean on each other, you're more strengthened. And right now we want to strengthen you all. We have given you so much tools, so much love, so many lessons. And now we're wanting to get you together now to support each other. And in the most kindest and loving of ways.
Wonderful. And for everyone, the tripod that they're referring to is the name we give for the connection we have between myself, Joanne, and Kane. We call ourselves the tripod because we have that support for each other. And we do support each other really, really well. And it's a beautiful connection. And that's what we would love everyone to have, is to have their tripod or their quadrupod or their table or their whatever, to have that support for each other, to be able to fall back and help each other through this process.
Yes, because ultimately you're a Ferris wheel, a merry-go-round. You are all connected, and you all have your ups and your downs, and you can all see each other's progress and steps for what it is. And even if you just have these sessions and this content as your only single point of consistencies, which we know is impossible, because you are all very similar and all experiencing the same emotions. So you've got so much more to connect with each other with easily without just these sessions alone. But there's so much content in these sessions, and it would be fantastic for you to be able to show support to each other when you are struggling to be able to see the bigger picture on some things. So you are all naturally supporting each other energetically, regardless of whether you know it or not.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. So is there anything else you'd like us to know before we end our session?
No, that we just love you and that we support you, and we still see things very soon unfolding, because the situations can't keep being in this hangman situation. And we, of course, were referring to the political situations in the Americas. So, we know that you have these in your minds, and we also know that you're trying to stabilize yourselves back into being still here on this planet, a big surprise to many. And so, we understand profoundly what it took to be prepared to shift and be ready to shift, and for the emotional process that needed to take place to be ready. And we understand that now these extra bonus time that you have can be really challenging to kind of almost restart thinking about living again properly in certain aspects. And we understand, and we acknowledge the people who are struggling with that shift and focus. We understand it was very tremendous, but we also want you to hear from us once again that we were not tricking you or playing you. We did strongly see the shifts supposed to have taken place on the 21st of December 2020. That was absolutely going to take place. And unfortunately, that was hijacked from you, and we are sorry. However, look how much you've grown from already overcoming that and building yourself back up. So it wasn't a play game again. We understand some people are still triggered from that, but you know, you have to go within. And you know, if this is a support group that you need, this could be a topic as well. But we cannot see the people wanting to have the support still triggered and suffering from that as such. Because there's so much more bigger content to deal with rather than just personal disappointment. So we understand there is a lot. There is a lot, and we are happy to do and come into some group sessions and to be able to give personal message, or not personal messages to the group, because that will take forever. We do want to respect Joanne's time too, because we know she is so open to her time and her energy, because it does take a lot of energy for her to be doing this channeling. So, you know, we do want to give collective messages to certain groups if that is called for. So, you know, we're always going to be there with her, you know, and supporting, just like we're always there for you as well. So we hope that this has clarified why we keep poking Joanne with this.
Yeah, and it's likely that the people that show up for a small group session will have similar interests with regards to information needing to be heard, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, they're wanting to connect with their sort of soul tribe or whatever terminology they need to understand it. But this is just about connecting and just getting some maybe clarification or confirmation, or you know, we're not going to limit this. Obviously, you know, group sessions aren't going to be just for, you know, we're not going to call in someone's nana, but maybe maybe that might be really important. That may be exactly what the group needs, is a nana to come in and love you all with beautiful hugs and energy. So we don't quite know how it could unfold ourselves. It just depends on what the group really needs. We don't really want it to be controlled in, you know, in any sort of which way. But of course, you know, we have to not only respect Joanne's time, but everyone else's in the group's time. So, and you know, Joanne is always available to be able to do private one-on-one sessions anyway. So it's not like anyone needs to, you know, share their deep personal issues. And of course, you know, there's many other practitioners and, you know, sessions that you can take on and actually do some really profound healing if you still feel like you need to actually do real sessions as well. But what we're trying to discuss with you today is something quite different. It is about personal connection, small group connections, and one-on-one connections at a different pace than just sessions.
Yeah. And, you know, you're always there for anyone who, in the meantime, needs to sit with themselves and go within, is, I think, something that needs to also be noted.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, Joanne, for her sessions, for her, you know, her QHHT and her BQH sessions, you know, she is, when she's the practitioner, you know, she's there, she really wants to hear the clients' issues and problems and, you know, their struggles, because that is purposeful for those sessions, because she wants to heal, find out the purpose and the lessons and all that sort of stuff. You know, it's really different from, say, these group workshops where, you know, people don't want to air out their personal laundry as such, to the deeper extent of, you know, whatever's happened in their childhood or whatever. It's about moving forward with this information and how to overcome, you know, still feeling like you're human, and you're not crazy, or, you know, you've got some support. We don't know if we are wording exactly how it will unfold, but we're wanting and pushing this because we are concerned for a few people who do need friends and support, who know this information, who accept this information, and it's not too woo-woo.
Yeah, I think that's beautiful. Thank you so much for all that amazing advice. I'm really excited to see how this works out. I know it's going to be incredible. I know you're going to be there with us throughout. You'll be there with Joanne throughout, and you'll be there for all the people that need you and need these moments of connection. So we thank you so much for being with us today.
You're welcome. We're welcome. And we wanted to confirm to the person who actually has wanted this connection to want to have these support groups. You know, we have heard, and this is your answer. We have heard you, and we are organising this now.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you very much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.